right, everybody, welcome back to the garage. I have two ATVs in here today. The one we've modified and the one we haven't touched. This will be part 6 of Chinese ATV upgrades. Let's see what we got. All right, ordered some rear shocks. They're in the box right here. Believe it or not, Amazon was nice enough, today's my birthday, to deliver me parts on my birthday that I paid for. But oh well. Let's get these things out of the box. I'm going to put this on the modified ATV first. We'll do that one next, but I want to get a comparison of what the two look like different. The way the suspension feels different and the way they run different. So everyone gets an idea of what we've done here. All right, right here on our trusty riding mower, our RFY brand shocks. These are the 11-inch or 280 millimeter Chinese Amazon custom shocks. These are the same brand that we have on the front of the modified ATV, RFY brand, only these are the longer shocks that are, I think, 320 millimeters. I can't really remember, to be honest with you. It's in the other video. I'll link it up here on the card. We already know how to take this rear shock off. We just pop our seat loose, which is one little latch under here. Ta-da, there's our shock bolts. 13 millimeter on this side, 17 millimeter on this side. Same on the bottom down there, 13 and 17. Shock falls right out. Remember, please, that this rear end will plummet as soon as you do this. So keep your fingers out of the way. Otherwise, you're going to smash them, and I don't want to hear it. Oh, you didn't tell me. No, I told you. Don't do it. Get ready. Put something under here. A jack stand, something to keep that thing from smashing the finger. I'm going to put a jack stand up so that it stops and holds itself up. I suggest you do the same. So let's get to cracking here. All right, everybody. What do you say we do this in real time? Gloves aren't even on yet. Let's hustle. Let's see if I can do this in under 3 minutes. Even with no gloves on. 17 millimeter on one side, 13 on the other. Got the impact. Told y'all this was easy. I'm going to show you. There's the top bolt. (13 and 17). I have a jack stand under here so this thing won't fall on me. Try to hold it up a little. Kind of like that. All right. There's that one. All right. Another identical bolt. And our rear shock. And that was super quick. That wasn't even 3 minutes. Come on, y'all. Don't tell me you can't do this. This one's actually somewhat adjustable. It's got this little clicker base on the bottom, which I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you may be able to see that there. If I can get this thing to unfocus on everything. There we go. If you turn this base left or right, it actually adjusts the height, but not the spring rate or the shock rate. And as we know from these stock shocks, they're not real. They're kind of phony. The spring is real, but the shock's kind of phony. So let's get the other shocks out of the box and compare them. All right, y'all, so I guess now is the appropriate time to tell you that these aren't rear shocks. This is actually front shocks for, I think, a 90cc or something of that size. To be honest with you, I'm not really sure. What I know is these are air adjustable. They have a valve core on the bottom so you can pump this thing up with air if it's too soft for you. it's probably going to be way softer than the stock suspension was. So my thinking is, in the experiment I'm doing in my mind here, if we think this is too soft, we can just pump it up with air and make it stiffer. So that's what I'm going to do. Yes, I had to buy a 2-pack to get this one. I have 2 ATVs, so I didn't care. You may not like that. I found these on Amazon for 50 bucks. So it's $50 rear shock, $50 front shocks. Okay, 100 bucks for a better suspension. That's a good deal in my opinion. So I'm going to knock these adjusters loose and adjust this thing out a little bit so I can get to where exactly the same length as this shock, and we'll get it installed. All right, I've got this shock adjusted to the height that I'd like. I moved it about 1/4 inch to change the height. Now I'm going to put it back in. It came with extra bushings. If your shocks on your ATV or has a larger bushing size, you just pop them out and put these new ones in. They push right in there, no problem. Mine were fine out of the box. It has adjusters. These adjusters are what you use to tighten, necessarily change the height of the shock by turning the, if this stupid thing would focus. There we go. You see that's grooved, and this wrench fits right in those grooves. You just turn it whichever way you'd like. When you're done, you jam the 2 nuts together. It locks it in place. It's simple. Simple, simple. So let's put this shock in. I'm not going warp speed this time. I just want to put it in. I think this is going to be better than the shock that was in there from the factory, but there's no way of knowing. And that's the whole purpose of this. What ATV upgrades are good for these and what aren't? What's worth it? What still sucks even if you upgrade it? Well, I don't know, so let's find out. Alright, I got that bolt in. Simple. On the bottom here. Face out of the way. As you see, it's not always as easy as it looks on TV, huh? Oh. Real time, everybody. The interesting thing is it's just slightly too short on my jack stand right there for the perfect fit. I'm not my jack stand out. That's what I was talking about. I'm just going to freehand it. It'll be easier for me to freehand. Using a good hand. I'm a lefty. There we go. Put our nut on. It's already way softer. You guys see that? Holy cow. Alright. Which is good for him because my son is very lightweight. He weighs next to nothing. So it may work out great for him. That one, and that is an installed shock. Looks pretty cool. Way softer. My goodness. All right. Well, let's get some comparisons now on what this shock looks like on this ATV as compared to the one back there. I think we'll have an interesting comparison here. All right, as we can see here, it's stock shock just like the other one was. If I give this rear end a push, it takes a good bit of force for me to get that thing to move at least 1 inch. We just moved back here. How about 2 fingers? My goodness. So, I think it's going to require a little bit of air in the shock. So how about we experiment with adding a little and see if it stiffens up some? Because I think it's worth a try. How do we know otherwise? All right, I put about 55 PSI in it. It is a little less pushy, but it's still pretty soft. With me on it, well, here, let's flip the camera around and we'll show you. All right, with me on, I'm on the bump stop. It's all the way flattened out. Thing is, I'm over 200 pounds. My son, 52 pounds. So it's going to be great for him. A heavier rider, you're going to need to turn that shock way down some. The spring cup is what I mean. You're going to have to turn it way down some in order to keep it from bottoming out. Now the thing is, I think the ride is going to be far better, far less bouncy. There's way more cushion in here now. It floats. If you're not as heavy as me, there's a lot of float in the suspension now, which is awesome. Didn't have that before. So I think this is best for a lighter rider. Either way, it's a good upgrade. I think it's worth the 50 bucks. So let's not put it on this other ATV yet, because the other son, Jackson, is right at 100 pounds. That's probably the limit on the size of that ATV there. I mean, I know it says this is for up to 16 years old. I don't believe that. So I want to leave that ATV with the stock shock on there. Front shocks would be a good idea though, no matter what. I don't care what age, what weight, the front shocks are worth the money. So let's put these things back in the building because it's burning up out here. It was nice for one day. Now we have our heat back. All right, y'all, both four-wheelers have been put up. In conclusion here, I much prefer the ride for myself, a heavier rider, for the stock style suspension on the rear. 100% the front shocks to be replaced. On a lighter rider, maybe 75 pounds or lighter, I much prefer the replacement RFY shock. For the money, dude, it's so much better. You'll have $100 in suspension, $100 well spent. You can find these ATVs for $100 online where people say, oh, they won't start. I've shown you how to replace the carburetor. That's usually the problem. I've shown you how to put wheel spacers, suspension, and how to re-gear it. It's simple, all right? It's a little time consuming and it can be a little finicky. The parts are small. Okay, so what? Take your time. It's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. It's a small investment for a lot of fun. So I like the way the exhaust looks in design, but I don't like the way the pipe changes size. And we'll get into that next time. I may take the exhaust apart and change it. Maybe not. But I've got a feeling that that's going to happen. It looks like the pipe reduces size toward the end of the muffler, which hurts horsepower and overall performance. So we're bringing in more air with the carburetor. I'd like to bring out more air with the exhaust, just to get it running a little smoother. So in the next video, we'll attack that. Otherwise, thank you guys for all the watches. Thank you guys for the shares. If you're not subscribed yet, please do. 86% of you guys who watch are not subscribed. Shoot, subscribe. Why not? This is going to hurt. I'm going to continue putting content like this up. So here's some video, guys. Thank you for everything. Until next time, peace.